Hey, welcome to the unfiltered side of Kenyan YouTube, the home of unpopular opinions. So let's talk contraceptives, let's talk condoms, let's talk pills, let's talk IUDs, let's talk vasectomies, let's talk tube litigations, let's talk all of that. Like I said in one of my previous videos, I do not really care much for telling people to abstain, because at the end of the day, doesn't matter how much I tell you not to have sex. If you have decided to have sex, you will still go ahead and have sex. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm just a stranger talking to you through the internet. You're watching me through your phone, you're watching me through your laptop, your iPad, your TV, whatever. I'm still just a stranger at the end of the day. So I cannot come to you and tell you, do not have sex, abstain, wait for getting married, wait for whatever. I'm not an advocate for that. I feel like our young girls, especially in their 20s, they're getting pregnant because just lack of knowledge. They don't know much about contraceptives, and also the people that they're having sex with are probably the same age, so they're also not giving them the right information. Most women in their 20s that get pregnant while unmarried, most of them will actually confess that it was a whoopsie baby. They did not plan for it. It's something that just happened. It just happened. They were having sex, she got pregnant, and that was it. And as a woman in your 20s, the moment you realize you're pregnant and you're unmarried, it's one of the biggest decisions you're ever going to make. Am I going to keep this pregnancy, or am I going to have an abortion? There are different ways to protect yourself when it comes to not wanting a pregnancy. And mark you, today we're not really talking about STIs and all that. We're just focusing specifically on you not getting pregnant. So there are different ways. There are more ways for you to protect yourself directly as a woman, but there are also things that your partner can do. For example, in my relationship with my boyfriend got the snip. He had a vasectomy. So basically, we don't have to really worry about having children. And if he did not have a vasectomy, I am pretty sure I would have gotten my tubes tied. It's easier for a man to get a vasectomy in this country than it is for a woman to get her tubes tied. First of all, if you're young, you're unmarried, you don't have any kids, very few doctors will be willing to do it, and most insurance companies don't even pay for such procedures. So it was just easier for him to get a vasectomy. He also is sure that he doesn't want to have any kids, and the other reason why he did it, he's like, if I could do something once and get rid of this problem of having the fear of having kids, why would I put you through taking pills or injections or going through a coil and having your hormones all over the place? Why would I put you through that? So he was like, if I could get a vasectomy and we could just take care of this problem, then well and good. And that's exactly what he did. So thanks to him, I don't have to take pills. I don't have to have injections. I don't have to go through any other method of family planning. And I am completely grateful to him, because then it takes away that burden of me having to always protect myself and me always having to think about, well, what if I get pregnant? And I am sure in the comments someone is gonna ask then, well, how does it work with your open relationship? So with my open relationship, the guys that I usually go out with, we're always on condoms, 100% always on condoms. So before I even continue this video, I am not a professional, I'm not a gynecologist when it comes to what type of contraceptive you need to use. So this will depend from woman to woman. The first time I took pills, I think I was 22, 23 when I started using Yasmin. It was good, but at some point it started really messing up my hormones, and years later they come to actually discover that pills, birth control pills, actually affect a woman's hormones, and it can actually, it's now proven, it can lead to depression. So you need to be really careful. What family planning method are you using, and which one will the doctor recommend? Like, don't just go over the counter and buy something, or don't just use something because your friend is using it. And I know the other issue, I was talking to a few girls and they were saying, especially because they are young, they're like 16, 17, every time they go to a clinic, like a healthcare facility, and they talk to the nurses in private and they say, hey, I would want to be put on a family method kind of plan, because the government does give these things for free, by the way. In some places, the government does give it for free. So they go to these nurses and they say, hey, we need help. I want to be put on family planning. And the nurses actually discourage them. They're like, oh, you're too young to be having sex. Why are you having sex? Go to church, go do this, go do that. And then they start a whole counseling session. Like I said, if someone is determined to have sex, they will have sex. So for these nurses, instead of sending them away and trying to give them a lecture about STIs and pregnancies, why don't you just teach them how they can protect themselves from getting pregnant? The fact that this woman has actually left her house and gone to confide in you and said, hey, I need some form of family planning method is courage enough for her to do that. So don't send them away. And for the girls who are watching me, if you've ever encountered that, then go to the next hospital. If it doesn't work, then go to the next one and the next one and the next one until you find someone who will actually help you out with this. All I can say is find a family planning method that works for you. What works for one person may not work for the next. That's why I still insist. You still have to go to the doctor. You still have to go get professional advice. The other thing that people do that I also did at some point when I was in Cape Town is the withdrawal method. Withdrawal is when, okay, for those who don't know, and I'll have to get graphic, is when before a man ejaculates, he removes his penis so that he can ejaculate elsewhere. That can work for a few people, but there's so many other people who can testify that they actually got pregnant through that withdrawal method, simply because when a man ejaculates, sometimes there's something called a pre-cum, so I don't want to call it premature ejaculation, but the semen comes out, and when the semen comes out, even before the main ejaculation, it can still get through your cervix and still get you pregnant. So it's not a sure-proof way of you preventing yourself from getting pregnant. So you'd rather use other methods. I'm not saying that this one doesn't work. And by the way, all contraceptives are never 100%. There are women who have had their tubes tied and they still got pregnant. So no family planning method is ever 100%. The doctor will even tell you, even taking the pills is not 100%. So you need to find a method that works. You need to go see a doctor, a gynecologist who's going to advise you accordingly on what to do. And when you do finally find a family planning method that you like, so for me, for example, I used to use Yasmin years back. The thing is, it's hormonal, so you have to be really, really careful about taking it at the right time and not skipping. When I started using it, I started skipping days. That thing really messed up my period. It completely messed it up. So when you decide to go through the pill method, please just make sure that you're very committed and you're very disciplined when it comes to you taking your pills, because it can really mess you up in the long run. So let me know down below what family planning method that you use. Which one do you recommend? Which one do you not recommend? Would you tell your husband or your boyfriend to get a vasectomy? Is that an option? Or do you, when I said vasectomy, did you look at me and go like, hey? I can never tell my guy to do that. Are you that type of chick, or is it something that you can actually have a conversation with your husband, for example? Like if you've already had kids or if you do not want to have kids, is this a conversation that you're willing to have with your husband or your boyfriend? And if not, what family planning methods do you use? My name is Abby. I make videos every Thursday and every Sunday at 7 p.m. Kenyan time. Thank you for stopping by. Please remember to subscribe to the channel, like it, share it. Let's have a conversation. Bye.